Y'all, okay, so I went ahead and pulled your cards. I was sitting here for maybe like a minute or so looking at them, and I figured I'd just go ahead and jump into this. So we're gonna talk through this together. So with the first two cards that I pulled to get context for the reading today was the Two of Cups and the Prince of Cups, and I was hearing that this is an idealized relationship, an idealized version of love. And what I'm seeing here is that there's someone in a connection, or at least this idea of desiring a particular connection with someone that doesn't necessarily fit what it is that you have in an idealized relationship, but it's as if you're trying to make something work with this person, and this person doesn't seem to be someone who's going to ever really live up to the standards, because this is not the natural order of things, and it seems as if you or both of you are trying to force something that is not supposed to have a continued connection. You're actually supposed to branch off and go in separate directions. Your guides are really pointing out that those ideas, the ideations when it comes to relationships, when it comes to love, is, well, I actually saw the word respectable. So they really respect the way that you perceive love, the way that you desire love, the way that you pursue love. And it's very important that you maintain or retain this idea and this feeling when it comes to love, because they're instilled within you for a particular reason, and it's your guiding light in life, and it's the way that you can honor your soul, your purpose here on earth. And you are supposed to have a connection that fits what it is that you desire, but the more that you maintain a connection that doesn't serve you, the more that it's going to cause self-destruction. They're actually pointing out this lily and how beautiful it smells, but they're showing these two individuals weighing it down, and they're also putting their own like body odors onto it, and so it's kind of like musking the scent of something that's very natural and very organic and beautiful. And so instead of them paying attention and being like, we need to step off of this because it's detrimental to this flower, we're just going to maintain our stance here, and it's going to cause this flower to fall apart and die. And so that's what I'm also getting emphasis on orange, the color orange, and I'm seeing this as far as something within your auric field gaining momentum. So it's orange that is intensifying within your system, so that's something I would look into. I'm also being pointed to these daylilies here, and they're showing this as a particular variety of daylilies. I want to say it's like Picasso or painter or artist or something like that, daylily, and they're bringing up that particular daylily because they're pointing this to you, and then but more emphasis on the other person of being maybe artistic or entrepreneur, or just someone who kind of just expresses themselves in a I'm not gonna say unnatural, but like unbound kind of fashion, you know, it's a little bit edgy, something like that. And they're pointing this out because it doesn't actually mesh with what it is that is supposed to be your divine partner or your divine match. I'm seeing two words. I'm seeing domestic and domesticated. I'm seeing Dominican. So that might be a specific message when it comes to like the kind of person that's supposed to be more closer to like your partner, where you're supposed to travel to, maybe a dream that you've had or an idea that you've had of traveling to these particular areas. But I'm also being emphasized on animals, and how I'm seeing two things when it comes to this. So for those that resonate with this, if you have a partner that is a little bit more on the aggressive side, and I'm seeing it really emphasized with the animal, and it's like someone who is being treated like an animal or acts like an animal, it's something like that, and they're highlighting this, and this is a very small percentage of you guys. You would know if this is something that resonates with you, and they're pointing this out because they're saying, look at the tenderness when it comes to you. Look at the way that you, even like if you have an animal, like treat your animal, and how do you, and then it brought me to children, and they're comparing like the innocence and the care that is required for children and animals and the helplessness that they have. And would you consider partnering with someone who is a more tense kind of nature? Sorry if you can hear that background noise. Doing a lot of construction on my property, so that's what's going on currently. So anyway, yeah, and then I'm also seeing the animal connection with regards to this is something that I foresee in your future. If you take it's not a detour, you're actually detouring yourself by continuing in a connection that doesn't serve you, especially if this is against your own intuition. Your intuition is telling you something, but there's an obsessive factor when it comes to this that is keeping you bound here. And basically there's this feeling of simplicity and like a domestic partner, like a calm partner, a loving partner, an affectionate partner, a nurturing partner, an uplifting partner, coordination when it comes to you and your partner and your relationship. And then I'm also seeing things like the simplicity of like the connection to nature, being outdoors and in a climate that feels very suitable for you, that makes you feel very connected to source, connected to earth, connected to everything, like self, really like being connected to yourself and being aware, because this kind of feels like head in the clouds, and not in a good way. It's just like very intense, and then also just like blurry vision, blurry thoughts, blurry mind. Okay, so after I pulled this, I started hearing the word Black Death, and so I pulled this, and it was the Queen of Swords here. Okay, and I immediately got some information, but I wanted to get a little bit more context here, and so I got the Nine of Pentacles and the Devil coming out, and then I kept hearing Black Death very strongly, and then Death came out after that, and that's where I stopped with this particular section here. So what I feel here when it comes to Black Death, Black Death is to me the Black Plague. That's what I'm seeing is the Black Plague. And again, it's this feeling of like close quarters and kind of it's outgrowing your situation, but overgrowing your situation, right? Outgrowing in some ways to me gives the impression that you outgrew it, so you're stretching beyond that to more point to your connection that I'm seeing here is that it's overgrown and it's taking over. It's becoming detrimental. It's becoming harmful to you and your spirit and your path. With this particular Queen of Swords, I'm really getting this feeling. It's a feeling like of playing to your weaknesses. And with the Devil and the Nine of Pentacles, I'm seeing that too as like vices and temptations. You know, with the Nine of Pentacles here, you know, he's picking these grapes, and I'm seeing it very strongly like wine. So this could be a vice like alcohol, or it could just be indicative of like being even a workaholic, something like that. And it's not really clear on who this is connected to, whether this is you, them, or both of you. And then I try and see if this Queen of Swords energy is anything outside of you guys, or outside of this connection, if it can mean something even bigger than what's kind of I initially saw or initially felt. And I'm seeing just the more that things are pushed towards something that doesn't serve you or either of you, the more that it's going to work against you. And that's where I guess darkness would capitalize upon, is because you're doing it onto yourself, right? And I'm seeing this as the death really is kind of like the Grim Reaper, and how the flame here is representative of kind of like time, or representative of effort and purpose and movement and growth when it comes to your particular path in your life. And these pumpkins being representative of like the opportunities that are being presented to you by spirit. And each time that you over consume when it comes to this connection, then each pumpkin gets thrown into the flame. And so then a new opportunity comes and it gets thrown into the flame, so on and so forth, until you take the initiative to step past that, and then that allows the flame to dissipate and the pumpkins to take its natural progression, where they're showing me that it decomposes, and then all the seeds sprout up many other orange pumpkin vines. So a replenishment, but it's showing me in different ways. It's like you can continue this until the end of time. This is your opportunity, and this is your choice, like your opportunity to choose whatever it is that you want. You can go that path if that's what you want, and that's what you feel you deserve, or that's what you feel you should do. You know, and from obviously from an ego perspective, because from your soul's perspective you wouldn't necessarily take that chance. But you know, if you feel on some level that you have to repeat these cycles, then you're going to continue to do so until you gather the internal strength to pass on to something completely different, right? But this is also representative as you're not necessarily losing so many different opportunities. Just because it goes to the fire doesn't mean that there isn't going to be many more, right? Because it's not like you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pumpkins. Okay, you have 6 pumpkins. Let's say you keep going until you have 5 pumpkins, so that's only one more pumpkin. That doesn't mean that you've lost that 6th pumpkin. I mean, technically, yeah, but when these go to seed, you're gonna get thousands and thousands and thousands, right, of pumpkins, more pumpkins upon pumpkins upon pumpkins. So you don't have to regret the time that has passed, or the choices that you've made necessarily. You can learn from it, and you will also have so much to look forward to as this progresses, right? So I ended up pulling 3 more, okay? And these 3 are indicative of kind of what's happening here overall, which is that spirit is really trying to come through and say that this is all dependent on the effort that you put in terms of what it is that you receive. You get what you put out, and this is on all aspects of things. If you decide to focus on the material, then through that repeated effort, material will come to you. If you focus on love, then love will come to you, right? What it is that you desire. Now, in some ways, that's where it began. But when I say that, they stop me and they say, when you revisit that of how this began, you're honest with yourself, you will see that it actually didn't begin in true love. It was, does this fit some sort of ideal that I have? And it actually doesn't come to love, actually. It comes to something that's more on the material side or appearance. like this person and I would look good, or this person would help me in some way, this person it fits in some way, like I want this person for a particular reason. It actually doesn't feel like it was considered to be based off love, but because overall you are a very loving person or a lovable person, or you have a lot of love to give, and you have very strong ideas of love, desires of love, then that's just naturally came into or fulfilled filled the spaces that were missing in this particular connection. And then they're showing this as more of a physical way, where when you start spending more time with someone, forming relationships with someone, then the chemical changes that adjust in your body when it comes to this person, then I'm saying that started to take precedence over the reality or the truth of why you even wanted this person to begin with. So they're basically saying get back to basics, go back to the beginning. And a lot of these are early spring flowers, spring, and these are all really connected to you. And I see this in new life, like breathing new life into your world. To come out of hibernation, to come out of winter's slumber, to come out of this feeling of it's some sort of spiritual stagnation. The more that you stagnate in this connection, the more that spiritually you are stagnating. You're not growing anymore in this. This isn't where you're supposed to be, and you know this. So in that way, you're betraying your innermost thoughts, your intuition. You're pulling yourself to some of the lower paths that you can take in life. And they are warning. They're warning that this is some sort of repeated thing over lifetimes. This is a repeated cycle over lifetimes, and this could have been repeated in this life as well, in other connections, or with this connection too, of like getting back together, breaking up, getting back together, something like that, where your guides are warning you that you're in very dangerous territory. You're in very dangerous territory right now. This is a huge warning coming through. And they're bringing me to this High Priestess card, and I'm seeing this more as like secrets exposed. So it's this feeling of the secrets of the why you wanted this connection. That's something that's being exposed. Also in your connection, there may be secrets being exposed as far as your connection goes. And the more that you avoid this, the more that you're avoiding your heart, the more that you're avoiding what could be, truly could be for you in love. Because you can't make something fit where it doesn't fit, especially when it initially started out as something that wasn't true. True, capital T, like true love, true intention, true heart, that kind of thing. Because when you think about your idealized version, it doesn't feel like it would be mutual love at first sight. It wouldn't be attraction at first sight, or, you know, whether it's physical attraction or attraction to maybe if they're an artist, like whatever, you know, whatever they're putting out there into the world, you know, a fan or something. I don't know. I have no idea. This is what it feels like. It feels like you pursued them, and then it's just a mismatch. It's misaligned. It's not like anything's wrong with either one of you. There's not even anything really wrong with them necessarily. It's just that this connection is serving as, I just heard like servitude. It's serving as a prison sentence. This is not something that you want to preserve. Basically, you want to preserve why this occurred, what lesson you need to learn from this, like why you initially were guided towards this connection, and that how is that misaligned with you. What do you need to be more mindful of that, because you will pay the price, right? This is proof that you're paying the price, and now it feels almost like an addiction, like you're stuck with this person on, you know, a chemical way, physically, right? So with the High Priestess here, I'm really being emphasized on this book. This book feels very old and worn, and it's feeling like racking your mind over and over and over again. Also experiences, like you're just going through this over and over and over again, and it's your guides are basically saying, like, now's the time that you should address the dark, address the darkness, address the secrets, address everything, and let it go and let it be. Again, another early spring flower that I'm being drawn to. And these are all little, right? These are all little. And because they're showing this is like the summer flowers are not fruitful, right? The rose, the grapes, the lilies, these are not fruitful. All of these early blooms are fruitful. Okay. And so these are the last three. So basically, I'm just seeing this feeling of like shut in, right? Not like a shut in when it comes like a hermit, like someone who's considered a shut in, like someone who stays in, who stays to themselves, that kind of thing. I'm seeing that your guides want you to follow this intuitive pull, this intuitive feeling, to look within and embrace what happens within, because only you can control the growth that happens internally. You're responsible for your internal growth. Anything that happens outside of you is not necessarily within your control, and hanging on to something that is only, it's not only overall, when you look at where this is trending, it's trending in terms of something that's harming you. And it feels like you, the way that they're showing is like they're putting her, it kind of looks like it, but they're putting her in an outfit as like a baker, okay? And so the story that I'm getting is like she's baking. She's in the middle of baking, and then she sees the kite kind of just flowing around, and so she runs out to get the kite. Now the kite is fine, it's tied down, right? And even if it flows away, it's not actually gonna go as far as she thinks it's gonna go. So she's trying to control something that isn't meant to be controlled, and it isn't meant for her to control to begin with. So she's interrupting something that she was doing, that she was good at, that she was working on, that she was happy about, in order to do something else. It's almost like multitasking when she should have her main focus on one particular thing. So it feels like before all of this happened, you had a really good thing going, and you got distracted by something that seemed kind of like attractive, right? Like kites are supposed to grab your attention. They're supposed to be very playful. They're supposed to be a lot of fun, right? When you see a kite, for the most part, people are super excited about it, right? Or mixed feelings, because if it goes floating away, it could cause problems. But that's what I'm saying, is it distracted you when what you were doing, like baking, takes time, takes skill, takes experience, takes effort, right? And that's something that you were developing, and they're showing it in terms of like let's just take like donuts, for example, and how you can, you know, put the icing on it in such a decorative way, and it's super exciting, super fun. Like that can be, or it can at least like create that same kind of feeling when you see a kite, when you see a very decorative donut. Like it's very unexpected and happy and exciting. And so they're really pointing this out, of saying like you need to basically like stop ruining this book by flipping and flipping and flipping the pages, going over it, over and over, like continuously going over lessons that should have already been learned. And on some level you've learned it, but then you're functioning on a lower level, like a more earthly level, your ego level, of just doing it over and over and over again. It's harming your path, it's harming your journey. And they want you to take this time to embrace basically the winter time. They're seeing it as like, again, pointing out the flowers of the summertime and how that's detrimental. But after summer comes autumn, it comes death, it comes the pumpkins that are in the death card, right? It has all of those. And so it's accepting the autumn as it comes. So the natural progression. So as you're burning bright in this summertime plant, let the summertime sadness, I don't even know what she says in the song, but it's like let that fill you, and flow into autumn, and stop the flame, allow this to decompose, let the snow fall onto it, let it stratify naturally, and let spring come. Let the new growth come. All of these are bulbs, you know, these are bulbs. Well, those are little seeds, but they're tiny. You know, these violas are teensy tiny little flowers, or little seeds, and flowers, they're kind of small, but it's nearly indetectable for humans, right? If it's under the ground, you're not seeing it. If they're really small, you're likely not going to see it. And so it's here, and it will grow. And for those of you who are there might be someone of the same gender. If that's something, if that's part of who you are, then it might be someone that is supposed to be of the same gender that's going to be the right match for you. That's for those of you, obviously, that it makes sense. Okay, let's get one more. I did one more, but two came out, so I wanted to grab a third, because why not? So we have the Queen of Wands, Eight of Wands, Knight of Wands. What I'm hearing with this is basically you're gonna see this happen very quickly. As soon as you embrace what your intuition has been begging you to see, right? Your intuitions, your guiding connection to spirit, to God, to your guardian angels. Once you do that, it's almost like a bank. That's what I'm seeing, because they're even showing me like these this wheat or whatever this is. Actually, I'm seeing it as, it starts with an S. I don't know, but anyway, it doesn't matter. There's a little bit of wheat there. The point is, they're showing this as a bank, right? They used to use these as money. They used to use wheat as money, right? I'm seeing the effort that you put into this connection has been building like money, and the effort that you've done prior to this is not lost. It has been, in your savings account. And I'm seeing this experience being added to this, and then adding on like compound interest. So it's like adding, and then being deposited into the savings. And they're saying that because of this, the second that you let go and you accept this kite may fly away, may not, and that this isn't any of your business anymore, this isn't your path, this isn't something that you have to bother with because you're in the middle of baking, and there will be more times to enjoy a kite, then it's good. This is going to happen very rapidly. And then I'm seeing this knight as a knight in shining armor, a partner who actually, you see it's the knight and the queen, who actually has a little bit less experience than you. Feels like you're kind of the alpha when it comes to this, but they're ready and willing. They're very excited. Like they're kicking up the dust, right? They're excited, and they will learn very quickly, and they're interested, and it feels like immersed, like full body interested. Everything about them is perfectly aligned, and they have the vitality and the energy to not just match you, but complement you in ways that can help you guys rise to a level that you could not do on your own. And there's going to be key indicators that are especially resonant with you that will show you very quickly that this is your perfect match. The reason I'm seeing is because they're both holding the wands, they're matching wands, and so there's going to be something about them that immediately, on first hand, it's going to be love at first sight. It's not going to be anything else. It's going to be very quick, love at first sight. And I'm also seeing this as you are someone who hasn't had the horse. So you've been you've been growing your wheat on your own. You've been doing this on your own. And imagine the advancements that we had once we started incorporating horses into our farming techniques, right? So this person has a lot to offer that is going to help you tremendously. They do want me to point out the Eight of Wands a little bit more. They want to address this. So let me just look at this for a couple of seconds. Yeah, you just have to accept this. You have to be willing, and you have to jump wholeheartedly into this. And as soon as that happens, there is a almost like a vibrational signal that gets sent out, where I'm seeing kind of like, look at this as an automatic door. So it's like this person receives the message, and spirit receives the message from you. You are showing spirit. You are changing your frequency and opening your energy up to spirit, right? All of that orange energy is now exploding out into the world. It's allowing it to just release all this built up pressure, and you're saying, I'm ready. And as soon as that happens, this person gets the map to exactly where you are, and this gate automatically opens, and they just feel drawn. They feel pulled to you, right? This horse is now the one that is learned, right? They're showing me in terms of like a donkey. Like a donkey has a really good sense of direction, a honing device, so they will go back home each time. So it's that same feeling here. It's like, I'm automatically going to be drawn to you. Spirit's allowing this. It's going to be a really perfect flow of energy towards you. So that's what I'm getting. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.